Mm. Good afternoon, teacher and classmates. Today I'm going to talk about Tambelina's story and how I would have changed the ending. Once upon a time, there was a woman who lived by herself in a faraway village. She was lonely after her husband died, and so she always wanted to have a baby, but she couldn't have any. But one day she went to her friend, who was a fairy, and the fairy gave her a grain of barley and told her to go back home and plant it. So the woman did as she was told. The next morning, a beautiful plant had grown from the seed. It had a lovely flower that looked like a tulip. Then she gently kissed one of its petals, and as she did that, the flower blossomed. Inside the flower there was a beautiful and little girl, and the woman called her Tambelina. Tambelina took away the woman's loneliness. But one night, when Tambelina was sleeping, a frog came to her window and saw her, and he thought to himself, "What a beautiful girl! She will make a lovely bride for my son." And so the frog kidnapped her. When the frog saw Thumbelina, he was so happy and he said, "I will marry her." And the father said, "I will put her on the water lily in the middle of the pond. This way she will not be able to escape." Thumbelina tried to escape, but when she couldn't, she broke down crying. Then some minnows were under the same leaf and they heard her cry. They asked her about her problems, and they decided to help Thumbelina. So they nibbled away the stem. Soon it broke and floated away with Thumbelina. Thumbelina was so happy because she was free, but at the same time she was sad because she didn't know where her home was. She spent many days in the grass and between the flowers. During the summer, she ate the pollen of the flowers and drank the dew from the leaves. But then the winter came, and one day, as she was walking, she found a small house made of mud. So when she knocked on the door, a mouse opened it and said, "Hello, it's cold outside. Come in, please." Once Tambelina was settled comfortably in the mouse's house, he asked her about who she was. So Tambelina told him her entire story. Then, to make herself useful in the mouse's house, she would clean and cook for the mouse. After a few days, the mouse said that he had invited a guest and added, "You will have to marry my friend, because I cannot keep you for another winter." So then the mouse's friend came and fell in love with Tambelina and said that he will marry her. Tambelina had no choice, and then the mouse's friend offered to visit his house. On the way, they entered a tunnel, and there they found an injured swallow lying on the ground. And then the mouse's friend kitted, and then Tambelina realized about the behavior of her future husband. But she decided to care for the bird until it was ready to fly. Time after, when the bird was healthy, she offered to Tambelina to go to a warm country. She accepted and hopped on the bird's back and flew to the warm country. When they reached to the land of the flowers or the warm country, the swallow showed Tambelina a beautiful flower petal and said, "This is the king of the flowers." In that moment, the king and Tambelina fell in love with each other. Then Tambelina became the flower queen, and Tambelina and the king got married and lived happily ever after. And on the other hand, if I would have changed the ending, I would have considered Tambelina's mother because she always wanted to have a child, and when she finally had a daughter, she lost her. So she was like alone again without even knowing anything about her daughter. So my ending will be something like this. Thumbelina got married with the king of the flowers, and she asked the swallow to look for her mother and tell her where she can find Thumbelina and visit her. Or even Thumbelina's mother could move near to the land of the flowers and live close to Tambelina, the swallow, and the king of the flowers. And in that way, Tambelina's mother will never feel lonely again and she could help to take care of the flowers and protect the kingdom. Finally, I must say that I chose this story because it is a clear example of how we face many problems in our daily life, including some in which we are forced to accept something that we don't want to. But as long as we are honest and kind, just like Tambelina, we will overcome all of these obstacles and being rewarded. And that's all. Thank you.